Welcome everybody to African Political Arena. I speak about good governance across Africa. I speak about my continent because this is actually my passion. Now, two neighbors, that is Zambia and Malawi, both have the same weather conditions, both have rivers and lakes. Both are actually landlocked. They have no coastline. The population of Zambia is around 21 million people. Malawi, there are about 22 million people. The size of Malawi is around 118,000 kilometers squared, while that of Zambia is around 730 thousand square kilometers. Of course, in size, Zambia is actually bigger. But my people, I got curious. Why are these two nations, two neighbors? One grows so much maize that they have to even export to the neighbor. And the neighbor, that is Malawi, some people actually die out of hunger, relying on relief food. And I got angry. Because this should actually not be happening. Of course, I'm happy when I see Zambia actually growing more than enough to export to other nations. I saw this nation, that is Zambia, export maize a while ago to Kenya. So it's not a bad thing. But I got curious when I saw so many lining up in Malawi for relief food. Same weather conditions. What is going on? Why does it have to get to an extent whereby people are now dying? That is actually my worry. President Peter Mutharika, who was just elected the other day, now his time in honeymoon is actually up, and he needs actually to start fixing the issues affecting the people. And this is actually one of them. This is actually my argument. By land size, of course, Zambia is bigger. So you expect them to produce even more, or even farms and all that. But at least, why can Malawi produce to an extent that at least nobody sleeps hungry? They might not be able to actually export, but at least nobody is sleeping hungry, because that is my worry. So what is Zambia doing that Malawi is not doing? That is what actually trying to figure out. And I realized that bad governance is actually key everywhere. And that's why I keep telling the people of Zambia, as much as we are actually pushing your president to proceed and doing the right thing, at least there's something you can actually see what he's doing. President Peter Mutharika must wake up now and start fixing this nation. He was the president for 5 years just before Chakwera got in. So he cannot continue saying that he's a new president. He is not. He knew what was going on. He should start fixing this nation. We cannot wait anymore for people to continue dying as we remain silent. How long can we depend on relief food? The people of Malawi are hardworking. Why can't he support? The government of Peter Mutharika should support farmers, both small-scale farmers and large-scale farmers, to ensure that they produce food. Food insecurity is the worst thing ever. People dying out of hunger. A nation which has no issues to do with insecurity, yet you're talking about hunger. The climate is just the same as that one in Zambia. So why are people actually suffering? The president should come up with measures to curb this. For instance, how about not relying on rain-fed agriculture? We can have dams across Malawi to enable the farmers irrigate their land Africans are not lazy. If you just assist them, they will move to the next level. Mutharika, push for dams across Malawi, my people, to fix this food insecurity for once and for all. 2, I also saw the issue of fuel, people lining up. I understand, of course, this is an issue which has been affecting most countries across Africa, simply because most of the nations in Africa, they import more than they export. So most of them, they are in shortage of foreign currency. In most cases, it's dollar. Fuel shortage. Malawi cannot go anywhere if people have to line up for hours waiting for fuel. People cannot get to where they're supposed to go on time. Transport cost being hiked. How will people survive honestly? Inflation, of course, will go up, among so many other things. You must address this issue with speed. Ensure that there's fuel, and the only thing you can do, of course, I know Malawi, you import more than what you export. So that means you're in shortage of foreign currency to buy fuel on time. But the same problem was in Kenya, if I remember well, and the president of Kenya, William Ruto, pushed for what he called government-to-government arrangement, whereby you have to deal directly with the countries where you're buying this fuel from. Not like the open tender where you need the foreign currency and you don't have enough. My brother, Peter Mutharika, that is an issue you can easily solve. Check around you. What is it that you can borrow from a nation like Kenya on that front? See also what you can borrow from a nation like Zambia, your neighbor, which is doing so well under the leadership of Hakainde. See what you can do to get Malawi to a better position. This is very, very bad. People dying out of hunger. My president, now you're speaking about taxes being increased. And of course, that will lead to inflation going up. My president, is that what you promised people? Is that what you promised people? Inflation. If people cannot operate simply because there's no fuel for them even to go to where they're supposed to be doing their businesses, then the prices for items go up. How do you expect the people of Malawi to survive, my president? Please, I don't want to be so harsh on you simply because you're elected the other time, but I know, and you also know, that you're not all that new. This is your second term you are actually serving. And if you get into power, then problems affecting the people of Malawi continue going up. Then there was no need of voting for you to replace Chakwera. There was no need. If things were to get even worse, then there was no need of voting for you. So, my brother, Peter Mutharika, your time to start working is actually now. We need results. We cannot continue watching people dying out of hunger, queuing on in filling stations, waiting for fuel. When will they work? We are tired of also seeing people given relief food in Africa, a nation again which is not having issues to do with insecurity. We are not talking about Sudan and South Sudan. This is Malawi, a nation which is peaceful. You just need to support the farmers. That's it. If it is dams, they need for people to irrigate their land, do that. Fertilizer, ensure that the prices are good to produce more. That is what made the people elect you. They thought you've got the solutions to their problems. Please fix this nation. Fix Malawi with speed. Because like I said earlier, that we are actually running out of patience. People cannot continue dying. No, nothing is actually working, but you keep making promises. You keep telling us it's early. Again, leave the government of Chakwera Lazarus alone. We don't want to know what happened. Of course, if there's a way you can actually recover corruption money back to the good people of Malawi, fine. But we are not interested in politics concerning Chakwera. That is not the man we voted for. In 2025, the people of Malawi voted for Peter Mutharika, the professor. Fix this nation. To everybody who is watching, thank you so much. And kindly let me know where you're watching from. Like I said, Africa is my business. We must change this continent. Subscribe, and also share, and also like my video. Thanks a lot.